Tonight, a fire that killed 7 in Montreal is now the subject of a criminal investigation.
The accidental cause has now been ruled out.
Why police now believe it was deliberately set. With more homes destroyed by more wildfires, the growing calls to make sure Canadians rebuild better.
I still dream of the day when wildfire protection becomes part of the building code.
And Canada's soccer coach steps down just as Canada prepares to host the World Cup.
This is The National with Asha Tomlinson.
Adrian is away. There's a stunning shift tonight in the investigation of a devastating fire in Old Montreal last March that killed 7 people. Police now say it was no accident. Flames ripped through the Heritage Building in the middle of the night. Almost all of those who died were staying in illegal Airbnbs. Now, new pain for their families. Investigators believe they have evidence of arson. Kate McKenna takes us through this major development in the case and what could happen next.
It's another shocking twist in a heartbreaking story.
The accidental cause has now been ruled out. We are now talking about a criminal investigation.
7 people died and 9 were injured in March when fire tore through this heritage building, an inferno that lit up the Montreal sky. It left this nearly 200-year-old graystone a charred husk.
And I can confirm that traces of accelerant were found, which may help explain the speed at which the blaze spread.
The latest bombshell is just one of many revelations following the fire. Stories emerged about the condition of the building and the rental units inside. Some of them were illegal Airbnbs.
This is a freaking fire trap.
Speaking shortly after the fire, one former renter says he discovered his Airbnb had no windows.
It's kind of small, a little bit, kind of a little sketchy, but in a kind of a cute way. And then it was like, holy shit, there's no windows.
Over the last few years, inspectors flagged several violations, including a lack of smoke detectors, problems with the fire escape, and fire doors. But the owner's lawyer says his client has been tried in the court of public opinion.
Ça ne peut qu'être une bonne nouvelle pour mon client.
He says the criminal investigation is good news for his client, showing the fire isn't his fault. But for families of victims, this announcement is just another painful reminder of the tragedy.
We were heartbroken already, and this news has opened our wounds again, actually.
So, Kate, it's a criminal investigation now. What can you tell us about what happens next?
Well, Asha, police aren't saying much. They're not saying if they have a suspect or suspects. They're not giving any hints as to potential motives. They're not even saying what kind of accelerant they found at the scene. But this criminal investigation could mean that families wait even longer for answers. And that's because there was a coroner's inquiry planned that's been postponed until the criminal investigators are done of their work.
Okay, thanks, Kate. The Northwest Territories is pushing back its planned general election by 6 weeks. It's now scheduled for November 14th. The reason? This mass exodus. Most of the territory's population has been forced from their homes by wildfires. But today, on that front, some positive news. The fire that had been pushing toward Yellowknife is now being held, no longer considered out of control. It is a welcome change. And as Yvette Brend explains, it has officials eyeing plans to eventually bring people home.
From Hay River, flames can be seen burning above the trees just over a kilometer from town.
You never know when things are going to happen.
This man watched neighbors flee last week, but stayed behind.
People drove through walls of flames and how no one died or got injured. I'm amazed. I passed about 15 vehicles on the way out that were either broke down or burnt completely.
He helps fire crews, watches over his property, and feeds pets running loose.
And the fire's just about to the highway here.
He posts videos so people can see the efforts to save homes.
People are working trying to get you home, so just be patient. They're doing their best they can to protect your properties.
But they're facing big challenges, including a northern heat wave with temperature highs near 30 degrees expected for days.
When you got hot temperatures and low levels of moisture in the air, you get bigger fire activity.
Winds threaten to make a volatile situation worse.
The fires, where they're way they are responding right now, they've never ever seen it before.
With 70% of the territory's population forced out, thousands are wondering when they can go home. The fire-threatening Yellowknife is now considered held, so talk is turning to a return-to-home plan. Sheila Bassi-Kellett is Yellowknife's city manager.
So before all 20,000 of our friends and family are able to come back, we need to make sure that certain things are in place so that we're taking a phased approach.
In BC's southern interior, some are now home.
And we are back home now, so that's a blessing.
Others await word to find out if their home is one of the more than 300 lost near Kelowna or in the Shuswap.
I know a lot of you're tired of hearing it. I'm tired of saying it, but we need your patience. We do not want to send anyone back into the area if it is unsafe.
BC fire officials stress the Okanagan and Shuswap fires still burn, but crews are making progress.
Now, Yvette, let's turn back to the Northwest Territories for a moment. When it is safe for people to return, what details do we have on how that will look?
Well, you know, we've just learned that the fire outside of town is held, so talk is just turning to that now. And it looks like first they're going to invite back, first-line responders, medical teams, the people that sell food, the people that sell gas, the people that are needed in town first, and then they will be inviting back people in phases. And that's going to take time and be complex, right? Because a lot of these people drove out, some flew out, and they've gone as far away as Calgary, Vancouver, all over Alberta. So it's going to be a phased approach, it's going to be complex, and it's not going to be fast.
Yeah, that is for sure. Yvette, thank you.
Thank you.
As so many communities assess the damage from this unprecedented wildfire season, others are already thinking of the next one. Kayla Hounsell now with the growing calls to change how we build our homes.
This is all that's left of Alice Fisher's home, destroyed in the Nova Scotia wildfires back in May.
It talks about the flames traveling quickly.
She's been looking into options to build her new home better.
After living through what we've lived through and feeling that numbness.
This home has hardy board siding. And so if the fire approaches, this siding will not melt.
Paul Kovacs has been researching how to make homes fire resilient for 25 years. He says siding is just one part of it. People should also have fire resilient roofs and decks.
I still dream of the day when wildfire protection becomes part of the building code and a requirement for all the new homes going up all across Canada.
Canada does have a board responsible for national building codes. There's nothing in the codes to address wildfire protection right now. Climate change adaptation is a priority in the works, but the new codes won't be ready for another 2 years. In the meantime, there's nothing stopping provinces and territories from creating their own requirements.
This is the first time that we've had this many homes lost to a wildfire, and I really hope it's the last.
Pam Lovelace is the municipal councillor responsible for the Halifax district that lost 150 homes. She's asked staff to look at strategies to mitigate risk.
I think it's important for us to consider that. We don't know what the cost will be. We don't know if the materials are even available.
Kovacs says these measures generally cost between $5,000 and $10,000. After the fires in Lytton, BC 2 years ago, the federal government provided grants to homeowners building fire-resistant homes.
It's all about whether we want to pay a cost up front for all these fires, or do we want to be proactive and get ahead of it?
Fisher says she's considering it. Anything to provide a measure of safety after losing everything. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
Florida is racing to get ready tonight as a major storm named Idalia barrels toward the state.
This is going to be a major hurricane. This is going to be a powerful hurricane, and this is absolutely going to impact the state of Florida.
It is expected to make landfall Wednesday as a Category 3 hurricane and could bring a storm surge more than 3 meters high. Sandbagging is underway and some areas are being evacuated. 46 counties are already under states of emergency. Tonight, Cuba is feeling the brunt. Some coastal towns dealing with significant flooding as the storm moves through. Well, travelers across the UK and beyond are being warned tonight. Flight delays could stretch on for days after a technical glitch caused chaos at airports across that country. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson shows us how it all unfolded on one of UK's busiest travel days of the year.
Disruptions and delays on a day where airports were already crowded with travelers. A technical glitch in air traffic control wreaked havoc at Heathrow and other UK airports. Hundreds of flight plans had to be entered manually, resulting in mass cancellations and chaos. This ICU nurse, originally from Italy, hoped to fly to Bologna to see her family.
I just saw the gate of my flight was not appearing. And at some point, I started seeing on the table that all the flights were cancelled or delayed. And eventually, my flight was cancelled as well.
According to Cirium, an aviation data firm, 3,049 flights would have been due to depart from UK airports on Monday. 232 of them were cancelled. That also backed up arrivals. Of 3,054 expected, 271 were cancelled. Among thousands of people who had to change their plans today, Canadian Benjamin Felstein. His flight to Amsterdam was cancelled, and he and his friend had to get there by train instead, paying out of pocket.
So we talked with the customer service, which didn't really help much, and were sent our way. They said they couldn't refund us there and that we'd have to make a claim with the airline.
The glitch took 8 hours to fix. It was announced as resolved by mid-afternoon. But the traffic snarls are far from over, and this expert says any air traffic system could go through a similar failure.
It happens once, twice a year or so around the world. That's once or twice too many. It shouldn't be happening at all. And so I'd urge regulators all over the world, whether it's in Canada or anywhere else, to proactively assess the stability of aviation software at the moment.
Travelers are still being warned. Knock-on delays are expected to continue for days. There could even be more cancellations. The advice? Always check with your airline. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
U.S. officials are investigating the cause of a deadly helicopter crash in Florida. All of it caught on video. You can see the fire rescue helicopter spinning out of control before crashing into an apartment complex. A woman inside that building was killed, along with a fire captain who was in the chopper responding to a car accident.
We're going to suffer, we're going to hurt, but this community should know we're prepared to answer the next call.
Officials say there was a mechanical issue after takeoff and a fire had broken out on board. The start date is now set for the federal trial of Donald Trump. He is accused of trying to overturn the last presidential election. And as Katie Nicholson tells us, the timing comes at a crucial moment in his bid to run in the next election.
Digital documents, you think it's
Heads down under a barrage of questions, Donald Trump's legal team beat a hasty exit from a D.C. courthouse.
Will you have adequate time to prepare, sir?
Inside, Judge Tanya Chutkan had just torpedoed their request for an April 2026 trial date, instead landing on March 4th. The same month, Trump is to stand trial in New York for falsifying business records. And the day before Super Tuesday, smack dab in the middle of the GOP's primary race. Something that, like Trump's mugshot, could once again steal the spotlight from the other contenders.
The most important impact is going to be how the media treats the trials and the primaries, and also the candidates in the primaries, not just focusing on former President Trump.
Even though Judge Chutkan had previously warned him against making inflammatory statements about the trial, within hours, Donald Trump took to his Truth Social to call her a biased, Trump-hating judge and said, "I will appeal."
How are you feeling today, Mr. Meadows?
Nearly 1,000 kilometers away in Fulton County, Georgia, Donald Trump's former chief of staff appeared in court, hoping to have his part in the sprawling election interference racketeering indictment moved to a federal court in the state's larger northern district.
The thought is maybe he wants a more diverse jury base. So in the federal jurisdiction, he can pull from all of those jurisdictions, including those more conservative jurisdictions.
Prosecutors like to say that the first trial date is rarely the last, and that's likely to be the case for Trump and his alleged co-conspirators, with 4 trials and so many pretrial motions, appeals, and of course, good old-fashioned unforeseen circumstances. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
Prosecutors in Spain have opened an investigation into that unwanted kiss planted on a player after Spain won the Women's World Cup. That raises the possibility of charges against Luis Rubiales, the head of the Spanish Football Federation. He kissed star player Jenny Hermosa without her consent. His own federation met today and demanded his immediate resignation. There's a major soccer shakeup here in this country. John Herdman is stepping down as head coach of the men's national team. And as Thomas Degla tells us, it comes just as Canada prepares to co-host the next World Cup.
Canada is going to the World Cup!
He gave Canadian fans reason to cheer at soccer's biggest tournament, leading the men's team to the World Cup for the first time in a generation. Now head coach John Herdman is changing course, quitting to take over at the struggling Toronto FC of Major League Soccer and leaving question marks hanging over Canada's men's team at a critical time.
I hope he does a good job at Toronto FC. And, I mean, he did a good job with Canada. Canada was pretty bad before.
He should never have left the women, in my view.
Julia Grosso from Vancouver.
Born and raised in England, Herdman first led the Canadian women's squad to new heights, laying the groundwork for Olympic gold. The Men's World Cup last fall made Herdman a household name.
It's a massive understatement to say that the shoes the next coach is going to have to fill is going to be enormous.
It was his strong language that landed Herdman on a Croatian tabloid cover with a carefully placed maple leaf, but ongoing turmoil at Canada Soccer over money and management has led top leaders to quit and star players to speak out.
As a team, we do not trust Canada Soccer to be open and honest.
As for Herdman, he always kept his future options open.
Will you be the head coach of this team at the 2026 World Cup?
I will be tomorrow. I will be excited tomorrow, absolutely.
Now Herdman says the goal was always to leave the game in a better place, and I'm confident that goal has been achieved for Canada. Though with soccer's global showcase soon coming to North America, the men's team is left with no permanent leader on the sidelines.
The next Men's World Cup is set to kick off in less than 3 years' time, with games played here and in Vancouver. Canada Soccer says its search for a new permanent head coach starts now. Thomas Jagle, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's cyber intelligence agency is sounding the alarm over a threat to national security. It says ransomware attacks are growing bolder and getting worse. Catherine Tunney looks at why.
If you want to hear about the damage caused by cybercrime, listen to someone from Newfoundland and Labrador.
Everybody knows somebody who had very significant things that were canceled.
In 2021, a ransomware attack plunged the province's healthcare system into chaos, delaying thousands of appointments and procedures.
You know, I had a couple of family members undergoing a couple of different kinds of cancer treatments at the time.
Today, Canada's Cyber Intelligence Agency issued a stark warning, saying ransomware isn't just a concern.
It is a national threat because it not only it impacts schools, it impacts hospitals, it impacts critical infrastructure that can in turn have devastating impact on citizens.
Today, officials also named and shamed one country in particular.
It's no secret that some of these cybercriminal organizations are being harbored in Russia, and Russia may be turning a blind eye to them.
Officials warned that criminals are increasingly partaking in what's called big game hunting, targeting critical infrastructure and essential services in hopes of big payouts from desperate victims. So far, hackers have gone after municipalities in Canada, including an attack in 2020 that knocked the city of St. John's systems offline. A ransomware group went after Toronto's Sick Kids Hospital last year, triggering a code gray, signifying a system failure. Individuals are being hit by cybercrime too. More than $500 million was stolen from Canadians last year. The RCMP says that number is likely higher.
So, we think that could be multiplied by 10.
The RCMP says it is trying to go after international criminals. Meanwhile, cyber experts stress that prevention is key, urging those running critical infrastructure to invest now to secure up-to-date systems, or perhaps pay big later. Catherine Tunney, CBC News, Ottawa.
A totem pole belonging to members of a First Nation in BC is on its way home from a museum in Scotland.
The time was right for it to return to where it should never have been taken from in the first place.
And for members of the community, it's a profound moment of reconciliation, nearly a century after it was stolen. And later.
Our home on a native land.
At the NBA All-Star Game, Jully Black made a small change to the national anthem.
I woke with the feeling of how do I make this moment meaningful?
Plus, a BC community rallies to help their volunteer firefighters.
They are raising money that will go to the firefighters who lost their homes.
We're back in 2. It is a homecoming nearly a century in the making. A totem pole taken from a First Nation in BC is finally being returned from a museum thousands of kilometers away. And as Renee Filipponi shows us, the emotional journey has just begun.
It's a moment correcting a historic wrong, as a delegation from the Nisga'a Nation held a ceremony to mark the start of this totem pole's journey home.
Today was probably one of the most happy days in my life because I'm really, really emotional right now.
It was carved in the 1860s in memory of Simagit Nisgaa''s ancestor, who died protecting his nation. It was stolen in 1929 and sold to the National Museum of Scotland.
The time was right for it to return to where it should never have been taken from in the first place.
The pole is seen as a living being by the Nisga'a people.
When a pole is carved, just right before it's to be raised, there is a ceremony that's performed, and the carver breathes life back into that pole.
The ceremony in Scotland put the pole to rest for its long journey home. This is the second time this year a totem pole has been repatriated. The Newhalk First Nation welcomed this pole home after it was taken more than 100 years ago.
A number of years back, I think you would have seen some uncertainty in the parts of museums.
This museum director says there is an increased willingness to right past wrongs, but more can be done.
I think there's a role for museums here to play in that conversation as well, to help institutions that are farther away.
The 11-meter totem pole will take weeks to maneuver out of the museum through a window and will be flown back on a military aircraft. Its return will be celebrated with a community feast at the end of next month.
My children's children and the rest of my family, their children, it'll be there for them for years.
One step on the journey of reconciliation as a pole from the past finds its way back. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, Vancouver.
And in another moment of reconciliation, remember this?
Our home on a native land.
David Common sat down with singer Jully Black to talk about the small change that made a big impact.
I know enough about you to know that this didn't come just as a whim.
Plus, a Canadian doctor is debunking the misconceptions about hormone replacement therapy.
I think a lot of people were afraid to prescribe hormones because they're giving people breast cancer.
The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping your world. Next. Just the words hormone therapy can spark all kinds of emotions. It can bring desperately needed relief for anyone dealing with debilitating menopause symptoms. But for years, there's also been fear it could cause cancer. Earlier this year, Joanna Romiliotis set out on a search for clarity about that risk.
There have been scary headlines, misleading advertising,
bioidentical hormones essential for quality of life,
feminist outrage, and just a whole lot of noise.
There seems to be misinformation about hormone replacement therapy.
When it comes to managing menopause, figuring out if hormone therapy is good or bad can be tough. So we set out to find out what's the real deal.
Joanna, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Who better to ask than Dr. Jen Gunter, also known as the internet's most famous gynecologist.
Nuance doesn't sell.
Nuance does not sell, right? It's either doctors are denying people hormones or hormones are evil. And, that's not medicine. Let me just get it set up. For today's Menopause Minute,
Gunter records regular menopause minutes, and they're all about fact over fiction.
that is a pharma talking point from the 1960s. Unfortunately, it's a scam. If your doctor or provider is doing testing to manage your therapy, you're getting bad care.
She's a best-selling author and a fierce advocate for women's health. And on this night, she's back in her native Canada at a sold-out event in Vancouver, taking on myths and misinformation.
I'm really thrilled to be able to give you this talk tonight.
Hormone therapy for menopause, the fear and confusion around it, is right up there and has been for decades.
In 2002, the Women's Health Initiative was halted. This was a big study on menopausal hormone therapy. People on hormone therapy dropped from 42% to less than 5%.
That's a huge drop, and let's step away for a sec to tell you what caused it.
So what's the deal with hormone therapy? Why is it still so controversial and still such a hot topic? Well, it goes back about 20 years when a big study linked hormone therapy to breast cancer and heart disease. It caused a major panic, and millions of women around the world suddenly stopped taking hormone therapy. Since then, it's become much clearer that those risks were overstated, but the fear still lingers.
When the first piece of information you hear about something is scary, it's really hard to undo that, even for doctors.
Before we unpack that fear, let's talk about that study. It was called the Women's Health Initiative, and Gunter says it not only scared women, it scared doctors too. How did that affect treatment for women?
Well, I think a lot of people were afraid to prescribe hormones because we're giving people breast cancer, right? You don't want to give your patients cancer. You don't want to give them heart disease. These were all things that, we were afraid of because of the Women's Health Initiative.
But the average age of women in the study was 63. Women are more likely to get heart disease and breast cancer as they age. And when hormone therapy is started later, it can accelerate those risks. Later analysis took all that into account.
There was some pretty quick rebuttals that came out. We started to feel, okay, this isn't as crazy as we thought. This isn't as scary as we thought. Maybe there's a lot more nuance here, and we need to take all that in.
That nuance has shaped today's guidelines around hormone therapy, and they state the benefits of hormone therapy for hot flashes and night sweats typically outweigh the risks for most healthy women under 60 and within 10 years of menopause onset. And if taken for less than 5 years, the risk of breast cancer is less than 1 in 1,000 women. New lower dose formulations and new delivery methods, such as patches and gels, are also safer. But not all doctors have kept up with the latest research. And it's a lot of information for the average woman to make sense of on her own. Inez Fazel simply resigned herself to accept menopause as the hand women are dealt,
Last card.
and to just suffer through it.
So I've had many symptoms: depression, night sweats, hot flashes, weight gain, loss of libido, brain fog, just not feeling like my body was mine.
She says her family doctor in Toronto didn't offer much guidance about hormone therapy, and she wasn't pushing for it either.
What was it that scared you the most about hormone therapy?
So what scared me the most was the risk of cancer. We had heard about the Women's Health Initiative, the study that was done many years ago. And so I felt fear from that. I also felt fear of the unknown.
That fear of the unknown, despite how much more is now known about hormone therapy, speaks to a lack of awareness.
Welcome, everyone. I think we're ready to get started.
Shirley Weir runs MenopauseChicks.com. Her mission is to empower women.
You're going to get quality information, and then your job is to leave and to choose the journey that's right for you.
She regularly brings in experts on women's health, online and at in-person events like this one in Cambridge, Ontario.
How often do women come to you with questions around hormone therapy?
Women come to the Menopause Chicks community daily with questions about hormone therapy. I appreciate that. There is a way out.
Weir says many women turn to her because they're not getting much support from their family doctors or still don't understand their personal risk.
I work with a lot of women who have really never been taught how to understand risk. Like, there's a risk in everything, and there's a risk in not doing some things as well. And so we hear breast cancer, and we think, oh, I don't want that, obviously, right? But we don't actually understand, or we haven't had a health professional explain the real risk to us. This is not to tell women that they should take hormone therapy, but to really encourage them that their health is worth having an investigative conversation about what the benefits would be for them.
I bet you there absolutely are people who are like, I'm suffering from hot flashes, and their doctor said, well, just suck it up. You know, right?
Gunter says no doubt some women are being denied treatment that could help them because the fear hasn't gone away.
How do you explain the fact that it's still lingering 20 years later?
It's very hard to unring an alarm bell. It really is. And I think we live in a world where people want to have absolutes. They want to have absolutely safe, absolutely unsafe. And nothing in medicine is like that. And fear makes it difficult for people to sort through things.
Fazil's own fear eventually turned to frustration.
I just said, that's it. I can't take this anymore. I don't get good sleep. I can't work. I just couldn't handle it.
So this is the medication that I'm taking right now.
So she did her own research and got a prescription for hormone therapy.
What difference has hormone therapy made for you?
I feel like I'm less depressed. I feel like, for the most part, the night sweats are gone and the hot flashes are gone. So it's a big difference from that perspective. So I feel that there's many pluses.
But Fazil says she should have had more help along the way.
I just had to do it on my own. Sometimes you just have to. But I feel like we should have more information from our doctors and from our healthcare providers.
Gunter is leading the conversation that many women are looking for, and it comes with a lot of caveats. Hormone therapy is not as scary as many might think, but it's not for everyone, and it's not a cure-all either.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying hormones fix everything, that hormones are a panacea for everything. And that's not true. But for people that are at low risk, not at high risk for cardiovascular disease, you're not someone with a history of breast cancer, the risk of taking it short term, if you're using a transdermal pharmaceutical dose for 2 to 3 years is incredibly low.
So the big takeaway here, there is not a one-size-fits-all prescription. And as Dr. Gunter told Joanna, a healthy lifestyle, no smoking, limiting alcohol, eating well, and exercising regularly can help a lot. Just ahead, Jully Black is known as Canada's Queen of R&B, but she also uses her voice to advocate for others.
My mom taught me forgiveness. First and foremost, it's the gateway to freedom.
As a recipient of a new award celebrating Black achievement, we take another look at her conversation with David Common. Tomorrow, the first of this year's recipients of the Legacy Awards honoring Black Canadian talent will be officially announced. Leading the pack is R&B star Jully Black. She'll receive the Icon Award, honoring her international impact. Earlier this year, Black made headlines around the world after singing out for Indigenous rights. She then sat down with our David Common.
Many know her as the Queen of R&B. She's considered one of Canada's greatest singers. For over 2 decades, Jully Black has been instrumental in growing Canadian hip-hop and R&B. Her lasting success has inspired and uplifted fans, and she's become a leading voice for Black Canadians. Then, at the NBA All-Star Game on one of the world's biggest stages, she used her platform to send a message to all Canadians by singing these words.
Our home on a native land.
Black's small but impactful tweet to O Canada made international headlines, stirring up conversation about whether her rendition should be made official.
We are experiencing life on Native land, on Indigenous land.
She was honored by the Assembly of First Nations and celebrated for her alliance to the Indigenous community. I recently sat down with Jully Black to talk about her experience.
I know enough about you to know that this didn't come just as a whim, that you are close to people in the Indigenous community.
Yes.
And you had a discussion, and that's what prompted action.
Yeah, well, it actually flipped around. So I woke with the feeling of, how do I make this moment meaningful? How do I make this opportunity impactful for all of Canada? Like, I'm representing Canada. To me, it was like the Olympics of anthems. I'm representing Canada on the world stage. And so when it dawned on me, like, oh, okay, I went through the anthem word for word. And I'm like, okay, it just didn't feel right. And I followed the feeling. And then, there's appropriation, then there's appreciation. So that's when I contacted a few of my friends who are Indigenous. And so, but getting their blessing is what made me go through with it. Because had I not received their blessing, it would have felt self-serving.
You perform it, a lot of people hear it, and a lot of people start talking about it. And that includes within the Indigenous community, within the Assembly of First Nations, which then holds this special Chiefs Assembly at which you're honored. An emotional event for you.
Even now, I'm holding tears. Emotional, spiritual, bridge building, healing. Those all the things that I've needed for myself, for the little girl, Julianne Indira Gordon. Because especially being an R&B singer and being a Black woman in this country, born and raised, my experiences has been, okay, I've done this, what's next? Like, I was inducted into Walk of Fame, okay, what's next? It's almost like, okay, what's next? It never felt like anything was ever enough. Wow, yeah. And they just gave me permission to know that I'm enough.
I can see the emotion now.
Yeah, I'm enough. I matter.
You said during that ceremony, on behalf of the Black community, we are one. We're better together. Tell me about that.
So many years ago, I heard this term BIPOC. And whoever invented the term, okay, whatever. Black, Indigenous people of color. I recognize that I've been going through life, kind of walking down this, it's like if you envision like the lanes of a track, and we're running against each other. We're supposed to be really running on the same team, but this whole BIPOC thing is like we're running against each other. And so that's why in that moment, I'm so happy it dawned on me to say it as an audible. If I don't live to see reparations for Black people, I can live to see and help and support, be a part of the change for Indigenous peoples and feel just as fulfilled. Because at the end of the day, I am not feeling the plight of my ancestors in real time right now. But I have Indigenous friends who know people that don't have clean water, like right now.
You've spoken about Indigenous rights for a long time. I go back to 2018, Canada Reads. You were defending The Marrow Thieves by Indigenous author Sherry Demeline. If I can, I want to show you that defense.
Oh, wow. You actually have it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You hit play.
Oh, my goodness. You guys really don't get me here. Waking up this morning and seeing on the news that Pope Francis decided not to apologize to Canadian Indigenous people for the residential schools when in 2015 they apologized to the American Indigenous people. Like, this is real life. It's a show and, all the books are amazing, but I remember being youth that was seen and not heard. And, my mom worked for $1.65 an hour here in Canada and made life for all her kids. And for me to be here and be able to represent a community that simply wants a conversation to happen, It's a big deal for Canada, man. My mom chose Canada. Oh. Whew. My mom chose Canada. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Your mom's not with us anymore.
Yeah. Not physically.
No. So tell me what she is inside you that has made you the person who advocates, who knows marginalized communities, and has continued to struggle and fight for those communities?
Yeah, my mom taught me forgiveness. First and foremost, is the gateway to freedom. And without that, I wouldn't have enough love available to want to be on the front line, to want to take on this role or this, you know, my mom would say, like, the mantle is open. There's a mantle for you. Just step on it, step up. She didn't let shame stop her, and that's what she taught me, to shame the shame, you know. So I had to go through it, and I'm still going through it now in therapy, and to really heal the little girl and talk about my experiences, talk about surviving child sexual abuse, talking about mom raising us as a single parent, you know. But I share it in my keynotes, I'll share it on television, I'll share it anywhere, because I really want my history doesn't have to be my destiny. Like, why not speak positively when we can? We have it available to us. And so that's how she lives through me every single day.
This conversation that you've brought to the fore, if that actually resulted in change, we all sang the anthem as you sang the anthem, what would that mean to you?
I'm still sitting with that. In this moment, it wouldn't mean anything for me, but it would mean something to me that they're listening. But for it to be a legitimate conversation that's truth-telling, that's huge for the generation coming up, because they'll know that to be the truth and learn that. And so I think it's important that it resonates. We are on Native land, we're on Indigenous land. If I could have changed 2 words, I would have done home on Indigenous land. But you know, you choose which one would be, to me, the most impactful. So yeah, I'm not here to wave my wand and be like, if you don't do this, then you're wrong. You know, it took 45 years to be 45 years old, and so I'm sitting in my maturity and wanting to learn more about Indigenous peoples.
Powerful stuff. You can watch Jully Black accept her latest honor when the 2023 Legacy Awards are broadcast live on Sunday, September 24th. That's on CBC Television and CBC Gem. Coming up, an example of bravery in the face of personal loss.
13 out of the 23 actually lost their own homes and continued to protect their neighbors' homes even as their own homes burned.
How a community has rallied to show its support. That's next in our moment.
For the first time in forever, the Edmonton Elks win at home.
Well, not quite in forever, but for fans, 1,415 days may feel like it. That's how long the Edmonton Elks have waited for a home win in the Canadian Football League. But Sunday, they snapped a 22-game losing streak dating back to October 2019. It was also their first win at home since their name change. Congratulations. There are only 24 firefighters in the Wilson's Landing Fire Department, all of them volunteers. And last week, more than half of them lost their own homes to the wildfires near Kelowna. They're still on the front lines, fighting to contain the massive fires, and their community has rallied to show appreciation. That support is our moment.
My dad is a 73-year-old retired high school teacher, and he took up volunteer firefighting. They live out in quite a rural area. Their home is not okay. It's been completely leveled, completely devastated. There's nothing left. And even after knowingly losing his home, my dad continued to turn up every single day, 12-hour shifts, continuing to defend and protect the rest of his community. The Wilson's Landing Fire Department, there's 23 members of that department. 13 out of the 23 actually lost their own homes and continued to protect their neighbors' homes even as their own homes burned. There is a GoFundMe. They are raising money that will go to the firefighters who lost their homes as kind of a transition fund while they sort of get their feet under them. It means a lot to have that gratitude and recognition for their sacrifice, for their bravery, for their hard work. And it hits them in the heart because they do it to care for their community. So when they receive that love back, it means a lot to them.
And you know, one of the homes destroyed included the fire chief. Just tonight, though, the total donated to this campaign is more than $95,000, and that'll be split evenly among the 13 firefighters who lost their homes. Well, that is the National for Monday, August 28th. Thanks for being with us. Have a good night.